All right, so this video is labeled Who is Craig Hunter from the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship Season 2. So with me, I have Craig to answer some of the questions to get a little bit more insight onto who he is and what he's about and everything. And first of all, welcome, Craig. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for
Uh,
having me, mate. Anytime.
no, no worries. And question one, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, we can go deep or we can go shallow. I'm just a regular bloke from Australia. I grew up as a household kid in the western suburbs of Sydney, and yeah, I'm a carpenter by trade. I drive a semi trailer now because I didn't want to be struggling with my body at an older age, and yeah, and what I am, I got three beautiful little girls. I got a beautiful wife that I love with all my heart, and that's about it, really. That's the sum of me, if you want to cut
Yeah,
it short. Yeah.
yeah, nice. And how do you feel about that label, the average guy? Like you're constantly called the average guy. Um, yeah, how do you feel about that?
Well, everyone's got a different idea of average, Jeff. But no, well, essentially, I am. I am an average guy. Like a lot of most, but I rarely meet a bloke who hasn't dabbled in some sort of at least boxing or something. I just, yeah. Well, I'm a tradesman essentially, so I've always sort of worked hard jobs, and in those hard jobs, you'll find hard men, and hard men have dabbled a little bit at the very least, even if it's just down the pub having a crack. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I accept that label and I'm proud of it.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, what training have you done?
Well, a little bit of jiu-jitsu,
Yeah,
which was well after I met yourself. And like my main training is Western combatives. I mean, that's what I've done. That's the only thing I've sort of gone to more than two or three times
yeah,
in my whole life. Yeah. Well, jiu-jitsu took more than two or three times, but I didn't get very far in that either. It's just life gets in the way. Like
yeah,
being a family man and a working man, it's hard to sort of dedicate 4 nights a week to a particular martial art. So I just sort of go when I can, and it's always been with you. And
yeah.
yeah,
Show us what it says on your left-hand side sleeve there. What does that say? The black side, the black
oh,
one. You
on
just
the
showed
black
us. Yeah, yeah,
side,
that one.
ah,
Got a
coach,
special coaching
actually.
shirt.
Yeah, I got a special coach's shirt. I was a kids coach for Western Combatives for a while. My wife and I actually took it. Jamo left, and my daughter was, I was Lister at the time. She was probably about 3 or 4, and she'd
Yeah,
been going for a year or two.
yep.
She was going real young. She was like 2, eh?
Yeah, yeah. I remember those videos of her. She was, yeah, a
Yeah, she
baby.
was little. But yeah,
Yeah,
Jamo was a great coach, and he was doing real stuff. He was doing stuff like he wasn't trying to teach kids that you can punch a grown man in the face and the fight's over. He wasn't being silly like that. He was teaching real stuff. I appreciated it a lot. It
yeah,
was it was something that could potentially save my daughter's life if she was ever in that situation. And then Jamo had to leave because he got married, and like I said, life gets in the way.
yeah,
And when he left, there was just a big hole, and I went, "Oh my god, I can't be the only parent that wants this for their children." So yeah, I
yeah,
sort of when you asked me, I went, "Well, yeah, someone needs to fill that hole."
yeah.
So yeah,
That's what I appreciate, like you were saying about Jamo. Like you were the one instructor that I've seen that would let these kids punch them in the face. And you would say, "Oh, yeah, what did you learn at karate? You learned to pinch. All right, pinch me, scratch me, whatever." And you'd sit there and let them do it to you and just show them that, yeah, it's not good enough. And I remember you had an emphasis on shouting and drawing attention to the situation, all that other stuff too. That's really important. And yeah, you and Jeanette did an awesome job. Like just the class just went whoosh. Started off slow, and then when you got the hang of it, it just went massive. Like it was, yeah, a really good program that you guys designed. And yeah, we're still trying to cope with the loss to these days of getting it back to where it was. But no, it was awesome. It was yeah, it was really good.
no, it
Um,
was fun. Yeah, and like like I said, like I from Jamo I learned, and then at like when the time came and I was running the classes with Jeanette, we added our own little bits, but we put an emphasis on high probability, like things that'll probably work.
Yeah.
Rather than things that are just definitely not going to work. Like you give me, like you said, I'd take an 8-year-old and hit me in the face as hard as you can. You're not gonna do anything to me. You need to draw attention to what's happening. Is your best chance, you know?
Yeah. No, it was good, and that's what I've always said too about your training. You know, you train for a month, disappear for 6, come back for a month all keen. I've got to lose some weight, and then you train hardcore for about a month, then you disappear. And I always said, like, if you did stick it out, like like you're good with like training at that extent. So which probably leads me to jump ahead a couple of questions and say, so when I gave you that call, like after Kev did his foot, what went through your head? So I think it was a messenger. Like we started talking, and I was like,
yeah, it was.
We need someone to fill in. What was going through your head?
Yeah. My first thought was, I'm being stitched up here. I'm just me. I actually thought, even like until we first sort of got the results, like the update on sort of where we were sitting on the tally.
Yeah.
I thought the whole time that I was just meat. Like I was doing you a favour. I was just turning up. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to not do my best. So I was obviously doing my best, but yeah, I thought I was just meat. I was just cattle being brought out to the lions, and that was how it was going to be, and I was going to do it.
Yeah,
But
no.
my first thought was a bit of borderline fear, to be honest.
I bet, especially when you saw the lineup. But what event were you the most concerned about? So going into it, what was the one that made you a bit nervous and whatnot?
Fighting Jeff Chan and Tarn Levy.
Yeah, so just the King of the West style fights at the end, or Run of the Mill, as I sort of changed the name to for it. Yeah, so the 20-second fights at the end. And what was your
well,
favorite?
I knew that I was going up against quality fighters. So, I was worried about that. But I was still going to do it, but I was worried. Like, that was sort of what was playing in my mind most of the week leading up to it.
Yeah. And then you had the boxing fight after it was all said and done. And no spoilers, so we won't tell the result, but yeah, just to take it. And I think you fought Monday to Friday, and then Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon, you went and had your boxing fight. So yeah, again, another reason I owe you big time. So what was your favorite event? Which one did you enjoy the most?
Same one I was scared of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to fight. Like, it wasn't like a 3 or a 5 round, 5 minute fight, which I wouldn't have been up to anyway in the state I'm in, or state I was in. I've actually got in a bit better shape now after seeing myself a little bit. But the state I was in, I wouldn't have made a proper fight out of it, but I knew I was going to fight them for a short period of time, and I knew who they were, and it was awesome. It was a privilege and an honour, and I thank you for letting me have a chance, letting me get in and have a crack. You
did us a bigger solid. So,
I'll never forget it. That's one of them things.
It was a good experience. Like,
it was.
Yeah. Speaking of those fights, like it's no spoiler that everyone had to fight everyone without giving away who won and who lost or whatever. So when you fought Ranton, I saw you pull out a special technique. Well, what was that technique?
Well, in Australia we call it the hopper, as you know, I'm sure. But in a lot of other places in the world, they might call it an oil check or something similar. But I just gave him a bit of a finger in the doot, which is, if there's anything that's going to make a man think twice about what he's doing, it's a finger in the doot. He'll flex up real quick, and he'll stop what he's doing immediately. I would.
It was funny because after it happened, everyone was laughing, including Ranton. Saw the funny side.
He took it well.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Good dude.
Okay. So did you learn anything from your participation in the championship?
I did. I learned that fitness plays a major part in self-defense, which I sort of always knew, but always kind of chose to ignore. I also learned that consistent training plays a major part. Like, the boys that are consistently training, they're putting in nights and nights every week.
Yeah.
They are formidable. They are
Yeah.
very formidable. You can feel it, even just locking up with them, even just grabbing them in a clinch. You can feel the difference between a bloke who's a casual and a bloke who's a full-time trainer, fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And the last one is, and the last thing I'll say is that everyone around it is grateful for your participation. You did yourself proud, your family proud. You did Western combatives proud. You've done Australia proud as the average Aussie to come in and represent yourself as well as you did. So congratulations on that. And like I said, I'm forever grateful for it. And yeah, if I can have you back again and it's within, what I can do, I'd definitely do it. So thanks.
Mate, thank you. It was an awesome experience. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to get in and have a crack. And yeah, I am the average bloke. There's a lot of blokes in any pub around that could flog me. Like Aussies are built different. You know what I mean? When they say the average bloke from overseas, maybe they'd see me as not that, but here, I am the average Aussie bloke.
Yeah, maybe above average.
I don't know. I've been beat.
Yeah, nice. Thanks again.